Welcome to Sacred Space with Young Living Essential Oils. I'm Ed Dailey, Director of Global Education, and we're so grateful you could join us here today. You're going to need a couple of oils, Clarity, an amazing blend, orange. I'm also seated on a chair, if you have one available, and if you have a blanket. So let's get started with Clarity. Our theme this week is focus, and when we've been talking about focusing our attention in the yoga practice, but the oils can have such a focusing effect as well. So I'm going to start with just taking a drop of this incredible blend, 10 essential oils in here. To me, personally, it's one of the most amazing blends that Garrett put together. And I'm just going to start with my feet firmly on the ground, directly underneath my knees, and I'm just going to create just a sentent, just to start our practice today. And as you're just softly inhaling and exhaling, have some sense that you're keeping a lifted chest with the toes spreading slightly as they touch the ground. Beautiful. Let's start with just a little bit of movement for our upper body in the chair today. So just take your arms down by your side and inhale your arms parallel to the ground. On an exhalation, just bring the hands together in front of your chest, and you might even catch a waft of the clarity again. On an inhalation, just take the arms up over the head, and as you look up, bring the hands together and just gaze softly over the tip of the thumbs. And then exhale, release the arms down to the side. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhalation brings the arms parallel to the ground. The exhalation brings the hands together in front of your chest. And again, taking a second or two just to inhale and exhale the clarity on your hands. As you inhale this time, just raise the arms up over the head, keep the palms together. Do a little bit of a back bend and look up and just gaze softly over the tips of the thumbs. On the exhalation, release the arms back down to the side. Inhalation to here, feet touching the ground firmly and evenly. Exhalation brings the hands together. The inhalation takes the arms up over the head, looking over the tips of the thumbs, and then just let your eyes soften. And your gaze just be focused on those tips of the thumbs. Exhale, release the arms down to the side. Let's interlace our fingers, everybody, and then just go ahead and take and just let the hands cup the back of the head. So if we were standing, if we were going to do headstand, this is the configuration of the arms and the upper body. And I'm going to slightly just press my head back into my hands and very gently press my hands into the back of the head. And I'm just going to lift my chest as I make my legs active by spreading the toes and pressing the heels into the ground. As you inhale, take the arms up over the head. Again, look in between the hands now, gaze softly. Exhale, release the arms down to the side. Let's interlace our fingers again, reverse our palms, and just place our hands on top of our fingers on top of the head like this. As you inhale, straighten the arms. And then just look up and just find the middle finger of the right hand. Just look at that knuckle. Just gaze softly at the knuckle. And let your eyes be receptive. Exhale, release the arms down to the side. Interlace the fingers again, this time putting the opposite index finger on top. Reverse the palms, place the fingers on top of the head. As you inhale, again, straightening the arms. Again, look up. This time, look at the middle finger of the left hand and just softly focus the gaze onto that knuckle of the left middle finger. Exhale, release the arms down to the side. Again, interlace your fingers again. Just place the hands in this headstand position. And again, just a gentle press of the hands into the back of the head, a gentle press of the head into the hands, but the neck is soft. Yes, and keep the legs active here. Good, and then release the arms down to the side. Let's stand up. I'm going to take my chair and just place it over to the side. We're going to start with a couple of standing poses today, and we're going to focus in on some alignment principles of the feet and the knees. And one of the great teachers that I had a chance to study with, Richard Rosen, once said, Physical alignment brings psychological alignment. And so there's a very soothing effect when we're focusing on our attention on the alignment of the body. So let's step our feet wide. We're going to do warrior two. We're going to turn our left foot in 15 degrees. We're going to turn our right foot out 90. We're going to inhale the arms parallel to the ground. And as we bend this knee, again, it's so important that you track it towards the fourth and fifth toe to help protect the knee. And if you can get the knee directly over the ankle, great. If the leg doesn't bend to 90 degrees, that's fine too. But just feel like the back leg, the back outer foot, and the heel becomes very strong. And then as you turn and you look over the right middle finger, just let your focus and your gaze be on that nail of the middle finger of the right hand. Beautiful. Relax the arms, straighten the right leg, turn the right foot in, turn the left foot out. Now the alignment of the feet is actually important as well. So we want the heel of the left foot to line up toward the middle of the back foot. If your hips are tight, you can offset the feet a little bit, maybe bringing that right foot a little bit closer towards the camera. But for today, we'll go ahead and just line it up in the middle. We're going to inhale the arms parallel to the ground again. As I'm bending this left knee again, yes, I'm bending it towards that fourth and fifth toe. And then the back outer heel is grounding into the earth. So that's the focus point of the back leg. And then we gaze softly over the left middle finger, looking over that nail, keeping our attention and our focus. On an inhalation, straighten the left leg, turn the left foot in, just walk the feet together. Now let's take our chair. We're just going to bring it here for a second. And it's a great way to do a standing forward bend with a little bit of support. If you had a blanket, you could also place a blanket on top of it to make a nice, soft, receptive area for your forehead. So I'm just going to spill forward and place my head on the seat of the chair and let my fingers come to the ground. If that's too much, you can place your arms up here as well. And I'm going to make the legs strong by just gently encouraging the kneecaps to draw up the front of my thighs. So strong legs, easy spine, soft inhalation and soft exhalation. Bend your knees, just grab a hold of the seat of the chair, and then take your hands to the top of the thighs, everybody. And then just shift your weight a little bit. So many times we stand on one foot more than the other. I'm a habitual right-footed, right leg stander. So I constantly have to shift my weight to make the weight even on both feet evenly. And I'm just gently pressing the top of the thighs. And then let's just hone in on the spine for a minute. And can the spine be elongated and the collarbones open? Beautiful. Inhale to straighten the legs. Let's take our chair off to the side again. Just keep it there. We're going to use that. So when we do a standing pose and then we do a standing forward bend, those are actually cooling poses. It's a great little sequence to do. Let's do extended side angle pose. So again, I'm going to turn my left foot in. I'm going to turn my right foot out. As I bend that right knee and I make a square, again, I'm tracking. If we bend towards the big toe or we bend too far up, we're in danger of actually hurting the meniscus in the knee. We want to protect the knee. So I bend the knee, I make a square. I'm going to take my elbow to the top of the right knee. And I'm just going to pause here for a second. My left thumb is touching the top of my left buttock, gently encouraging it to help ground that back outer left heel. From here, take the left arm up and just find the spot in front of you. So I'm looking right at the lens of the camera, and that's my focal point, that's my focus as the back outer foot presses into the earth, and I firm the right shoulder blade just a little bit onto the back to open my chest. On an inhalation, come up. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Let's look at our feet again. Let's make sure that we're lining the feet up so that we have that great psychological alignment that Richard Rosen talks about. So as I bend the left knee, I'm mindful, I'm focused with my mind. Is that knee bending towards that fourth and fifth toe? I take the elbow to the top of the knee. And then from here, I just take the right arm up. The outer right foot pressing into the earth. On an inhalation, come up, turn your left foot in, just shimmy your feet together. Let's take our chair again. Let's do another standing forward bend. Many times we think that we have to press ourselves into a posture. So we're creating shapes in yoga. And that's one of the main things that I've learned with so many amazing teachers is that you create a shape. So feet about hip width distance apart. Let's just take our arms up over our head. Exhale, swan dive into a standing forward bend. The forehead on top of the seat of the chair, fingers to the ground now. Again, if you need to place the hands up here, you can. Strong legs. So strong legs. The inner heels are pressing into the earth. The kneecaps are gently encouraging themselves to draw up the front of the thighs. And my spine is soft, and the skin of my forehead is being received by the seat of the chair. I'm going to grab the seat of the chair again. I'm going to bend my knees. And then I'm going to place the hands on top of the thighs again. And I'm going to find where my feet are being balanced evenly with my weight. So right there, I feel like, oh, the weight is even on both feet. And I'm pressing the top of the thighs down. And then from here, let's just take our arms up in front of us, thumbs together, and let's just gaze over the tip of the thumbs here, everybody. And then follow that as you straighten the legs and you come up and you do a little bit of a back bend. Follow the tip of the thumb, stay focused there. Exhale, release the arms down to the side. Let's do warrior one. So I'm going to turn my left foot in 45 degrees. Now I'm going to turn the right foot out 90. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my hands on my hips and I'm going to rotate. I'm just going to turn my whole body towards my right foot. And as I bend the right knee again, I'm tracking towards that fourth and fifth toe. From here, just take the arms up over the head, warrior one. The back outer heel, the focus is in the back outer heel, pressing into the earth. Really strong back leg in these standing poses, everybody. Good, release the arms. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Again, when I do warrior one, just out of all my years of practice, I'm always focusing on the back leg first because I want that leg to be rooted. Okay, there's many variations where the heel comes off the ground, but for today, we're going to keep that back outer heel rooted. I'm going to bend the left knee, make a square, and then from here, just inhale the arms over the head. Find a focal point in front of you. So I'm looking out my window, looking at a beautiful flower, everybody. It's such in full bloom, and my eyes are receiving the flower as I focus in on it. On an inhalation, come up, relax the arms. Let's take the feet together. Let's take our chair again. Before we come into the standing forward bend again, let's just rub our hands together and take 3 soft inhalations and exhalations of the clarity. Beautiful. Just inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale, fold forward. Head to the chair. Let's leave our arms on top of the chair for this round. Inner heels lifting up the inside of the leg to the groins. Kneecaps gently drawing up. So these simple cues are there to focus your attention in your body. Spine soft. Forehead is receptive and easy. And I'm shifting my weight from side to side to feel where is it evenly distributed on both feet. And bend the knees again, everyone. Place the hands on top of the thighs again. Really right here, yes, beautiful. Place the hands on top of the thighs. Good. Just look forward. I'm gazing at that beautiful flower again. That's my focal point. That's my focus. And as I receive the flower into my vision, I continue to feel the distribution of the weight evenly. And then from here, let's just stand up. Let's take our chair in front of us now. We'll do a variation of standing wide-eyed before bend. So I'm going to take my feet wide. And we don't want, many times I see people, they get duck feet. So we want the feet directly facing sort of north to south on the side of my mat. I'm going to take, and here, place my hands on my waist. I'm going to spill forward so my head touches the seat of the chair again. Yes, and then place my arms on top of the seat of the chair. And I'm strongly rooting the legs by pressing the outer heels and lifting the inner heel. Let's lift the head off, straighten the arms, and from here with straight arms, just bring your feet closer together. Okay, so we're going to end our time together with a wonderful restorative posture called calves on a chair. It is one of my favorite restorative poses ever. It really helps the legs, the lymphatic system, and the cardiovascular system rest because the legs are higher than the heart. So I'm going to go ahead and just move my block up here. And I'm going to grab my orange essential oil as well. And orange, all the citrus oils have such a focusing aroma to me. They really help to draw my attention inward into my body. So I'm going to, if you have a couple of blankets, great. If you don't, I place one here just for softness on the seat of the chair. And then I'm going to take another one here as well and just put it under my head. And before I do that, I'm going to place a drop of the orange in my hand. Now, many times last week, I was actually rubbing the oil on my chest. It's a great way to diffuse it if you're in this posture as well. So as I bring my legs up to the chair, I want just a little bit greater than 90 degrees. And I have the soft support here for my head. And many times I will actually use my thumbs to traction the occipital ridge of the forehead and then lay it back down. And then let's inhale our orange. And then from here, place one hand on the belly, one hand just above the lower hands. And as you have your eyes closed, just feel the relaxation of your calf muscles. And then focus the attention of the mind on just observing the movement of your hands as you breathe in and out naturally. If the mind wanders, which it usually does, just gently bring your attention back to focusing on the movement of the hands during the inhalation and during the exhalation. The legs are supported, the calf muscles are supported. And you're just noticing the movement of the hands as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And rub your hands together one more time. Let's take 3 more soft inhalations and exhalations of the orange. Bring your knees into your chest. Just roll onto your left side, and then just go ahead and sit on up. So thank you so much for joining us today. We're so grateful to offer these self-care practices for you. Sacred Space has been such a huge success for our members and for all of us at Young Living. And join us tomorrow as Stacy Van again leads another amazing kids class for all the children out there to help them stay focused and attentive as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of the day.